Hi, everybody. I want to let you know about another tornado warning that has just been issued for Greenwood and Lawrence County. This is one that we've been watching from the south that has now popped into our area, shown signs of tightening rotation. I want to let you know this is heading north. Going ahead and just giving you an early heads up in Greenville and in Spartanburg County. This, as it continues to move toward the north, could enter your area down the road. You're not under a warning right now, but just go ahead and giving you an idea of the trajectory of this cell as it moves on through. So this warning right now for Lawrence and Greenwood County has been issued here for these areas. There's live Super Doppler 4 HD scanning our area, and it's for this cell right here as it moves on through. So we'll look at this warning as it's in Lawrence County, Greenwood County, pushing up toward the north. This thunderstorm capable of producing that tornado about 6 miles north of Greenwood. So just north of Greenwood right there. This will be 4 miles east of Cokesbury as it's moving up toward the north at about 15 to 20 miles per hour. So watching this here, Greenwood County Airport, Dalewood, Cokesbury, and then Ecom at about 2:30 here. We'll put a loop on this here as it pushes up toward the north into Lawrence County. This is moving quickly at about, let's see, what's the latest speed? 25 miles per hour. So there's the cell in question right here on the northern side of Lake Greenwood. This is pushing into Lawrence County. Please seek shelter right now. Kids at school, I get it. Timing not great here. 2:15 as we're approaching car dismissal time. Folks, just stay where you're at. Hang tight. No need to get out in this because this warning is a dangerous situation, and this gets us until here as we go on through until 3 o'clock. So this will get us into school dismissal time. And I know you're thinking, hey, I got to go pick up my kid at school. Well, hold tight just a little bit. They're going to hang tight and keep everybody where they're at in school right now. Our newsroom actively communicating with the school districts. They want to get that information out to you so that you're not traveling in this type situation. Please hold tight, hold steady. We need to get through this storm, and you do not need to be traveling in this as it moves up toward the north. So giving you a fresh look at where it's at. Greenwood County Airport, Cokesbury, Waterloo, and then Mount Gallagher by about 2:37. Let's look specifically at the rotation in this activity. That's this little cell right here. And look at that flare up right there over the lake. You see that bright green indicates to us that the wind is going toward our radar, the red going away. We'll zoom in close here to Lake Greenwood, right over the area of Cokesbury, right over the lake as it pushes into Lawrence County. So we've got this rotation flaring up right in here, and that's where the rotation is. So let's give you a couple of tracks in here. We'll get you through the warning, and then we'll get in closer here to some areas. So specifically looking at where this possible tornado is located, over Donaldson Air Force Base, the recreation area there, the Mount Gallagher area at about 2:27, Poplar Springs at 2:34, and then Union Baptist Church at 2:34 as well. Let's do a little smaller track here for, say, the next 5 or so miles, just to give you some points of interest if you live in this area right around the rotation. Again, some areas probably not picking up with this as it moves on through these areas up toward the north here for the next 3 or 4 miles. So Reedy Grove Church at about 3:22. Now, as we look at our products here in Cokesbury eastbound near the lake, let's look at the debris.
National Weather Service in Greenville, Spartanburg has issued a tornado warning for southwestern Lawrence County in upstate South Carolina, northwestern Greenwood County in upstate South Carolina until 3 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. At 2:14 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located 6 miles north of Greenwood or 4 miles east of Cokesbury, moving north at 25 miles per hour. Hazard, tornado. Source, radar indicated rotation. Impact, flying debris will be dangerous to those caught without shelter. Mobile homes will be damaged or destroyed. Damage to roofs, windows, and vehicles will occur. Tree damage is likely. This dangerous storm will be near Waterloo around 2:30 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Work Shoals around 2:40 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Other locations impacted by this dangerous thunderstorm include Coronacum and Hickory Tavern. Take cover now. Move to a basement or an interior room on the lowest floor of a sturdy building. Avoid windows. If you are outdoors, in a mobile home, or in a vehicle, move to the closest substantial shelter and protect yourself from flying debris. Heavy rainfall may hide this tornado. Do not wait to see or hear the tornado. Take cover now. Please report damaging winds, hail, or flooding to the National Weather Service by calling toll-free 1-800-267 8101, or by posting on our Facebook page, or tweet it using hashtag NWSGSP. Your message should describe the event and the specific location where it occurred. Repeating, a tornado warning has been issued until 3 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time for the following counties.
Greenwood County school officials to find out what's happening right now. We will let you know as soon as we find out what's going on in and around town. With an active warning, basically everything kind of halts. You need to be seeking shelter, not traveling to and from, not getting out the door. And folks, if you have somebody that might be traveling right now, get on the phone and give them a call. This warning and active tornado threat goes until 3 o'clock today. You need to be exercising safety mechanisms and just stay put. Worst thing you can be doing is traveling in a situation like this. So this active tornado warning includes Lawrence County, Greenwood County, this on the northern tip of Greenwood County near the lake, going into Lawrence County. This goes until 3 o'clock. As we pull back out and show you the upstate as a whole, kind of give you a bigger picture here. We've been watching these bands from Fred kind of whip into our area. There's Hartwell, there's Elberton. This activity is going to continue to swing into our area from the west, and as it does, the air is rotating around it. So that gives us the potential for damage and spin-ups here across Greenwood and Lawrence County. So that's really the storm that's the most concerning here across Greenwood, pushing up toward the north. Sydney, if we can, let's turn on our rotation product and kind of see where rotation might be lying within any of these storms here. I'm not seeing much rotation here. There has been some from time to time in Transylvania County. Looking okay in Pickens and Greenville County right now, but you see that bright spot showing up right now across Greenwood. Anytime we see a bright red or a bright green, that indicates to us that winds are not behaving normally. They're not behaving like they typically would. And right there's that bright spot showing up right in there, which indicates to us that there's some rotation in the atmosphere near Lake Greenwood, pushing into Lawrence County. Again, this is just east of Cokesbury right there. We'll take a look at our debris product here and show you if we're seeing any debris in and around the lake. And if anything, very, very minor. But it's something to watch very closely here as we're watching this storm roll on through. So there's Cokesbury pushing up toward the north into Lawrence County. So looking at just our wind shear product, this is a tool that we have here that kind of gives you an idea of where we're looking at any kind of rotation. It takes off everything off the map except for that. I'm not seeing a great deal of it. As we kind of pull out, we'll give a surveillance across the entire area. This usually gives us an early look at anything that might be flaring up. And so far, nothing jumping off the charts as showing significant rotation. But as Live Super Doppler 4 HD shows us, we've got kind of a long afternoon to watch these storms that whip into our area. So at the surface, you look at these storms on a normal day and say, hey, that's some heavy rainfall. The problem today is that Fred is back toward Atlanta, and it's got that rotation whipping around. And as these cells move through the area, if they climb up in height at all, they tap into that rotation and can begin to give us a threat for tornadic activity. So back here lies the core of Fred, and on any given one of these bands, they can begin to rotate and give us the potential of a tornado. So heavy, steady rain in Asheville and in Hendersonville, stretching down south of I-85. The danger lies right now across Greenwood and parts of Lawrence County. That's where we need to watch this as it's crossing across Greenwood County into Lawrence County. We need to watch that very closely here, moving toward the north at about 25 miles per hour. Our very own Live Super Doppler 4 HD gives us a great shot, a great look at this storm as it's rolling into the area right there. There's Lake Greenwood pushing into Lawrence County. Let's get in closer, give you a fresh storm track on this, and take a close peek at that rotation again, because it looks like we still got that cell that gives us that little squirrely look to it. It kind of got a little hook right in there like that. That gives you some signs of rotation, and right there you're seeing it. The brighter green indicates the winds that are going toward our Doppler radar, toward me, and the red indicates those winds are going away. So you got that rotation here now in Lawrence County, pretty solid in Lawrence County. So your threat in Cokesbury down toward uptown Greenwood coming to an end. I want you to be careful, not rush right back out, but really it looks like Lawrence County is the primary threat at this point. So again, Gulch's off-road vehicle park at about 228. Ecom by about 233. Union Baptist Church at 236. And then Lake Raven Park just before 240 right now. Need to watch this very carefully here. And this is where the rotation is the most significant across the area. And this is what will happen is you get these scans that come through, shows a flare-up. Tropical downpours come through, and then, you know, it starts to die down. And we've seen that flare up and flare back down from time to time today. But again, Cokesbury, it appears your threat is just about to be over with for proper. But you go into Lawrence County, that's where that threat lies right now. And this pushes into deeper into Lawrence County, just east of or west of you folks in Lawrence County. We got a brand new look at this warning. They have now taken Greenwood County out. As we mentioned a moment ago, you're now clear. You can come out of your safe place in uptown Greenwood and Cokesbury. This place is the the new warning, which basically just redraws it for us, which is great. It allows you and just more importantly knows when you can come out, when you can breathe a little bit easier and not know you're in as much imminent danger in Cokesbury south toward Greenwood. But right now, I still see that rotation in Lawrence County. So the new track would have this about 10 miles southwest of Lawrence. There's Lawrence County looking southwest. This would be about 5 miles east of Ware Shoals. So watching this closely, you need to be very, very careful where you're doing and what you're out and about. Let's give a fresh track on this, if we will, up toward the north and northwest here at about 25 miles per hour. This will put this rotating cell in about the next 8 miles going through Gulches Off-Road Vehicle Park any minute now, Ecom, Union Baptist Church, and then Lake Rabun Park. Now, as we look at our Lawrence sky camera, that's something we can kind of look at here. We'll show you in just a second as we take a peek at this as it's whirling on through the area here. This is one that we need to watch because Lawrence is just north of that. And you can see we've got the low clouds, and toward the western side of your screen right here, you can see that darkening of the clouds. This looks kind of southwest. So we're basically got a bird's eye view of where this is coming on in. This is downtown Lawrence, and again, that cell is southwest of town. I can show you that. There's downtown Lawrence, southwest of town right there. It looks like it's going to go just west of you, but we'll have a good view of that as it continues to move west across that sky cam. We'll keep watching it closely, but there's that rotation as it continues to move off toward the north and west. And again, right there's Greenville County. We need to watch this closely for Greenville and surrounding areas, including Spartanburg County, as this rotation pushes toward the north and northwest very closely. So let's put a loop on this. We'll show you kind of how fast and where it originated into Greenwood County. It started in just into Greenwood County on the other side of the lake, hopped the lake. Now it's into Lawrence County, which is where it sits right now across parts of just east of Ware Shoals. And this would be about 10 miles southwest of Lawrence County. And again, we're watching this whole band of activity that's rolling through the area right now as it continues to give us some signs that it could be rotating at any given area here. So if this continues on its same path, we'll put this in motion here as we can kind of watch it across Greenwood County, pushing now into Lawrence County, but heads up Spartanburg, heads up Greenville County. I need to watch this closely, and I know the time here. I'm watching the clock closely. About time to pick up my boys. I know my wife's about to do that in Greenville County. So hey, we need to watch this. For all of you that are at school pickup, hey, first day of school, we want to keep you safe, folks. So in Lawrence County right now, hold tight until this warning can expire here and we know where this is going. So giving you a better look at some towns. This will be heading toward Poplar Springs, Hickory Tavern, Gray Court, and then Owings at about 2:50. So that gets you out of the next 20 to 30 minutes. You can see that this activity is going to be rolling through your area. So we want you to really exercise caution on any day where there's tornadoes, but your routines are a little different right now. This is the first day of school. Things are a little off, right? Okay. If the kids don't have a stressful day enough with it being the first day of school, we've got tornado sirens going off. So we're walking you through it. We're going to be with you through the storm here as this rolls on through Lawrence, pushing up toward the north. But heads up, it's either going into Greenville or Spartanburg County if this rotation can hold together. So we want to give you an early heads up there. This warning in Lawrence County goes until 3 o'clock. Let's pull out a little bit, show you a bigger perspective here across the upstate as we're monitoring other areas. We've got the sun shining, in fact, peeking out between the clouds here from Anderson to Abbeville, Hart County, Elbert County, back through these areas. Another round of storms rolling on through. But again, these little showers look so innocent on live Super Doppler 4 HD, but as we've seen, they flare up at all and get up in height at all. They tap into that mid-level rotation, which tropical depression Fred or the remnants of Fred sit here and spin and give us that active rotation in the middle layers of the atmosphere. Any one of these little showers can begin to give us a tornado. In fact, I can remember in 2017, John Sesters and I were tracking 2 tornadoes in Union County that looked like showers. And you can honestly get that. A thunder shower that gives you a tornado. It does not take much to give you tropical tornadoes in this type of environment. There's just not much distance between the low cloud deck and the ground, that what would normally touch down as maybe a funnel cloud is already at the ground, and it touches down and gives us that potential. And we've got a new warning just to the south of us right now that'll need to be monitored near Wagner over toward the I-20 corridor. Need to watch this as it pushes up toward the north. And again, Union, Spartanburg, Gaffney, those areas in the eastern parts of the viewing area that haven't had as much consistent, steady rain today, that would be the case. Let's take a look at our safety place if it's still up across our area. We need to watch this closely because, hey, if you're in Lawrence County, where do you need to go? You need to go to your safe safe place. Go to the most inner part of your home. You need to seek shelter immediately. Now, if you're inside, go to an interior room. No windows. That's the key there. You want to be protected from glass. That's the most dangerous part of these type of systems, is when there is flying objects, you need to have a way to cover your head, whether it be a pillow, a mattress in the bathtub. If you're outside, hurry to a basement. Go to a nearby building. You do not want to be driving this type of situation. Lie flat in a ditch or low-lying area and protect your head and neck and hands. We need to watch this closely as we move on through, as we're looking at this activity. And cars, that's a very bad place to be. And just getting this in from school districts across the area. We told you we keep you up to date with this type activity. Our newsroom in touch with the Ware Shoals School District 51. They will not dismiss schools until this warning is over. So again, there is no need to start getting in the car right now and heading to the car rider lines in Ware Shoals. You do not want to be driving in this potential tornado. They are not dismissing schools until the warning is over with anyway. So car rider lines are not a safe place when you're talking about a tornado possibility. I know you want to get to your loved ones. I'm a dad. My kids are at school right now. I know exactly what you're feeling, and we need to watch this. Brand new tornado warning now exists for Rabun County, pushing into parts of North Carolina. We're watching Clayton, watching Macon County, and this is for a tornado that exists that's moving out of Clayton, pushing into the mountains right now. So the mountains, you're not immune to this by any means. And looking back toward the east, toward Catawba County along the I-40 corridor. So if your travels take you that way, we've got 3 active tornado warnings in our area, with 2 in our viewing area here. 1 across Lawrence County, 1 across Macon and Rabun County. And we need to watch both of these very closely here. So the warning here for Macon County goes until 3:15. And that is what we need to watch here as it goes through the mountains. About to cross Georgia into the mountains. So Macon County, my friends in Franklin, you need to be seeking shelter right now. Get to your safe place. Get to the innermost part of your home. There's that bright coloring right there, which indicates those winds going away from our radar site in Rabun County. That's quickly moving toward the north at about 20 miles per hour. It's actually moving northwest at about 30 miles per hour. So it's picked up speed a little bit. So this will be in the mountains in no time. And this is where the elevation starts to go up. So we'll often see these tornadoes or that rotation kind of ride right along the base of the mountain. So as we're looking at Hale Church, Watkins Mill, and then Scaly School at about 2:52. And again, not an ideal time to be dismissing. So we're monitoring that. And again, back toward Lawrence County, Greenville County, we're watching the school districts right now because an active threat in Lawrence County. Hey, Ware Shoals School District 51 will not dismiss schools until the warning is over. And I got to tell you, that rotation is still showing up right there. It's starting to slack up a little bit, but it's one to watch here as we've got that warning in place here as we sit at 2:33. So be careful in these areas. And Ecom, Lake Rabun Park, Hickory Tavern School, and then Hickory Tavern at about 2:48, okay? Need to watch this closely here. I do think this rotation is starting to weaken. I wouldn't be surprised if this gets canceled here in the next few minutes, but it's one to watch as we still have at least some mid-level rotation right there. It does not appear to be reaching the ground, but one that we need to watch, especially as it moves north into areas of Greenville and Spartanburg County. Hey, because you've seen a little bit of sunshine today. You haven't had as much consistent, steady rain in southern Greenville, southern Spartanburg County, as our friends in, say, downtown Greenville northbound have. It's been pretty steady throughout the day. So your threat would be a little bit lower, but notice the breaks in the rain in Spartanburg and in Greenville and northern Lawrence County. That could produce somewhat of a higher threat. So watching that threat right in there, there's the curvature, there's the signature that we look out for. Any kind of hook, any type of curve in the atmosphere gives us that threat. We have 2 active tornado warnings in place right now across our area, 1 in Lawrence County, 1 in Macon and Rabun County, North Carolina. This would be Rabun County, Georgia, pushing into Macon County, North Carolina. This would be south of Franklin right here, pushing right into the mountains. So please be careful in those locations. You got that bright red showing up here, which indicates some rotation. Now, as you go up in elevation, our radar is giving surveillance to those storms that are rolling on through, and the storm tracker has it in Watkins Mill at about 2:47, Scaly School at about 2:49, and then Nice at about 3:04, and then Salem School at 3:06. Farther south into Lawrence County, we've been watching that mid-level rotation. Again, it fluctuates up, it fluctuates back. We've seen some of that rotation in Lawrence County, Greenwood County, and that signature still just looks concerning there. And the latest scan from Live Super Doppler 4 HD as it rolled on through parts of Lawrence County here, indicating to us that we need to watch this closely across parts of Lawrence County. Right in there. Right in there is where we need to watch it as it rolls on through parts of Lawrence County, as we've got that activity pushing on through there. And a new scan coming on through right there as we put it in motion. Let's take a look at that rotation there in Lawrence County, because we got that warning that goes until 3 o'clock. And again, you see the reds and the green. When green meets red, you need to seek shelter. You need to get to a safe place. And that's what we're seeing right now as that rotation has just jumped north. And again, it's near Ware Shoals, near Princeton, just west of Lawrence. You're seeing that rotation. Let's zoom in just a little bit more. You can see where we're talking about across parts of these areas here across the highway here, as we're seeing this active rotation setting up here and scaling up and then scaling back down. As we look at Ware Shoals westbound, zooming in, let's go to street level if we can right in here. We'll show you where we're talking about, because there's Ecom, there's Hickory Tavern, there's Poplar Springs. Right there would be there that possible tornado would be, or that touchdown could be near Highway 252, heading toward Highway 76 right there in Hickory Tavern any minute now. So that's the concern right there as we move forward. Again, timing, not great. I know, we talked about this yesterday, how you need to be weather aware at school dismissal time. And here we are as kids are trying to get out of school. You need to hold tight. Schools are not dismissing in Ware Shoals. You need to kind of hold tight, let this pass on through, and then get to Colorado Line. 236 Lake Raven Park, 244 Shiloh Church, 245 Mill Rock Church. So that's where this is going to be heading in the next 20 minutes or so. And we're also monitoring another tornado warning, this in Macon County, North Carolina. It started in Raven County, Georgia, and monitoring Greenville and Spartanburg County closely here. But there is still some rotation in these areas of parts of Raven County pushing into parts of Macon County. So this cell right here, you see the bright band right there. That's where the rotation lies. It's crossing from Raven County into North Carolina into Macon County. So heads up Franklin, point southbound. I know many of you that live in Georgia right here, pushing up toward the north, you'll go do your grocery shopping in North Carolina. So you do not want to be traveling in this area right here. Dillard points up toward the north. You need to be watching this very closely, as there is a significant amount of rain that has happened in these areas, and you do not want to be traveling in a situation like that. But right there is where that potential tornado could be. Enough rotation showing up as this pushes up toward the north. As we do a storm track on this, Sky Valley, Scaly School, Nice, and Salem School at about 3:07. So that gets you through about the next 30 minutes of threats there in Raven County. Now, if we can, let's show where Fred lies right now, and Sydney driving the maps right now. Sydney, we've been watching Fred back toward the west over the Atlanta area, and that's the problem. Here's Fred, and it's going to move right over the southwest mountains of North Carolina. And look at the amount of tornado warnings that we have across the area. And folks, this ramping up as we go into the afternoon hours, as we were concerned about. We've at least got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 tornado warnings in the Western Carolinas right now with this activity that's rolling on through. So an active day of tornadoes, an active day of severe threats. Please be careful with this. You do not want to be traveling in this type of situation. You want to be holding tight. And I know it's school dismissal time, 2:38 right now. The schools in Ware Shoals are holding tight. At least School District 51 is telling us they're holding tight. They're not letting anybody out right now until the tornado warning expires there at 3 o'clock. So we got another 20 minutes or so before that happens. And really, our threat not over with until this evening, until this passes on through the area. So locally, as we look at Live Super Doppler 4 HD locally, there is Raven County, there is Macon County, an active tornado warning. The sirens are going off. You need to be seeking shelter right now. And then you go into Lawrence County. Right there is where there's an active threat, and this pushing up toward the north and going ahead and giving you a heads up, whether it be eastern Greenville County or western Spartanburg County, this rotating thunderstorm is moving north. Now it may flare or fluctuate back down, and that's good. We want that, but it's still a storm that has shown signs of rotating and could be moving north. And again, the red and the green meeting right here, that's showing that we have signs of rotation, and that's what we need to watch out for here across Lawrence County at a time that is oh so important, 2:39, where schools are almost getting ready to dismiss, and in Greenville and Spartanburg County, school districts are watching this oh so close. Because, you know, as we get into school dismissal time, you know, you go ahead and let out, you know, you got this storm knocking on your door. So, Sydney, let's go ahead and give a storm track for this potential rotating storm. Let's go ahead and go way on out. Let's go an hour. Let's go an hour and a half to see kind of where this would be if it heads up toward the north in the next 30, 45 minutes and would continue to move in a north-northwest fashion. So, it'd have it in Gray Court by 2:57, Crescent, Reedville, and then Lyman. So, if it continues, it's likely to move up toward the north into Spartanburg County. Let's put a loop on this right here for, say, about an hour. We'll see where it's coming from and where it's going toward. Looks like it's kind of almost going due north right that, which would have it going into, you know, Lawrence County for, you know, at least the next 30, 45 minutes, but then it crosses into eastern Greer. There's the airport. It would be, you know, near Lyman and Inman, and then Spartanburg County. So that would put it there between 3:30 and 4 o'clock, which I know is an important time where buses are out. Not to say that this rotation holds on that long, but we just want to give you an early heads up to kind of alert you as to what may happen with this cell. And not to say that any one of these other storms don't prompt another warning as well, because these are equally as concerning in some of these areas of Greenville County and in Spartanburg County, because, hey, they are showing signs of some feisty looks to them. A little bit of curvature to any of these cells right now means that these could begin to rotate any minute now. So we need to watch that closely. Let's take a look at our Lawrence Skycam if we can, and then we'll take a look at some of our other ones around the area as these are popping on through the area in Lawrence, Princeton, heading on up toward the north there. There's the lowering of the clouds in Greenwood County. We've got certainly the rain knocking on the door, so there's downtown Lawrence. The main cell is just to the west of Lawrence right there. Greenville County, we're covered up in the heavy rainfall right now. We're going to watch that closely as Live Super Doppler 4 HD scans our area. Let's go back to Macon County, Rabun County, as we're watching this active tornado warning for you folks there in Georgia, pushing into North Carolina for Franklin right here, just west of Casters. This is a serious situation as we're watching that closely as well. This continues to move on up toward the north and will be in these areas within the next 30, 45 minutes. So let's put a track on this little signature red in here as it's right at the base of the mountains, climbing into the mountains, and that can do some really funny things to these cells, kind of knock them off their axis and usually weakens them. But as we look at Sky Valley, 249, as we look at Watkins Mill at 252, and then Fulchertown 308, and then Ellijay at about 318, pushing into the mountains there. Let's go back to Lawrence County, because getting a new drawing, so to speak, of the tornado warning there in Lawrence County gives us an area. And I love this. This is something the National Weather Service just started doing within the past year or so, really shrinking down those concerned areas, really highlighting the area that we're most concerned about. And they've basically redrawn this concerned area for Lawrence County to really pinpoint this is where we're concerned. Highway 76, just west of Lawrence, and going into downtown Lawrence from Princeton. That's where the rotation lies right there. And this currently sits at about 8 miles west of Lawrence and 7 miles southwest of Gray Court. So heading toward the north at now 30 miles per hour. So it's picked up its speed a little bit, heads up Fountain Inn. I want to let you know, Hickory Tavern 243, Hickory Tavern School 243, Dials Church, Mile Back Speedway at about 254. But if this continues, it's going to get into parts of Fountain Inn, surrounding areas, and really could enter parts of Greenville or Spartanburg County. And again, it may be much weaker by then. I hope that it is, but I want to let you know that these cells have a way of fluctuating up and then fluctuating back down. And that's something we need to watch very closely here with this active tornado warning that sits across Lawrence County. As Live Super Doppler 4 HD, our very own radar. This gives us an instant look. So powerful in situations like this, because we're not waiting on another radar. We're not waiting on the delay that sometimes the internet can provide. This gives us a second-by-second look at where these storms are. And right now, the danger lies across Lawrence County at a time where schools are supposed to be dismissing. So I want you to hold tight in Lawrence County. Don't head out right now. The schools are not dismissing during an active tornado warning. You do not need to be traveling in this part of Lawrence County. Ware Shoals District 51 telling us they are not letting anybody out of school right now, and they're just holding tight until this warning expires at 3 o'clock. Here we sit at 244, and that's the most dangerous part of the storm right now. We still have a couple more hours. So multiple bands around Fred working their way into our area right here, and we've got 3 warnings in the Western Carolinas immediately, but just to our south, as we scroll down toward Greenwood, watching some of this activity, as there are now 3 more warnings that are setting up just to our south and moving north as well. So These are one to watch as we've seen these cells out of Augusta kind of move into areas like Greenwood. And this is what happened with the cell across Lawrence County is it was feisty in Augusta, died back down for a little while, and then flared back up. And that's what you see with these tropical type downpours is they really kind of flare up and then flare back down. Here across Rabun County, Macon County, we're seeing this activity. Really, this tornado warning continues for another 15 minutes there as that hook. And anytime you see a hook right here, you know, you really got to look closely when you get into mountainous areas for tornado warnings because the signatures look a little bit different. And the mountains are higher, those storms that are different height in the atmosphere, and we're seeing that happen across Pickens, Oconee, Rabun County as these mountains kind of do strange things to these storms. But there's the hook that we're looking at as this cell crosses on into parts of Rabun County and into Macon County. That bright spot right there indicates that we've got some heavier rotation, some stronger winds, and this is pushing on through the area and making its way toward the northwest. So we need to watch that closely as we're looking at the wind speeds here in Macon County. So please continue to seek shelter in parts of Macon County. Need to watch this very closely here. And really the dangerous part of this storm is that we've got winds that are howling out there. We've got saturated grounds. This area of North Carolina has had a tremendous amount of rain, as much as 8 inches today, combined with the 5 to 10 inches yesterday, brings a storm total to over 12 inches, even close to 15 inches in some locations. So the Transylvania County Emergency Management telling us here in parts of Transylvania County near Brevard, they've had enough gusty winds that we've had parts of the highways be closed down here. We've got Rosman Highway, roads blocked across Newtown Road and Rosman, all around Rosman and Brevard. Hendersonville Highway near Pisgah Forest closed right now. We've got mudslides, we've got trees down Lake Toxaway, Silverstein Road where it meets Diamond Creek Road. We've got another landslide in that location too. So Transylvania County, this area having 10 plus inches of rain in the past 24 to 48 hours. That's leading to banks kind of collapsing and falling down, a little bit of landslide activity. We've got some active tornado warnings that go until about 3 o'clock here. Active tornado warning in Lawrence County, active tornado warning in Rabun into Macon County. The rest of us, we're just watching closely. Greenville County, certainly some very heavy rainfall setting up right now. Parts of Spartanburg, we've got very heavy rainfall right now. And this continues to be the case as we move throughout the next couple of hours here, is any one of these bands that kind of whip into our area could give us a tropical tornado. We watch out for these things anytime we're on the east side of the storm, and that's what we need to watch out for very closely here. And this is what we're watching out for as we're looking out in these areas. Good news for you folks in Lawrence County. It looks like the rotation is beginning to weaken. Let's look at that rotation right now and kind of get a closer look to see if we're in fact able to stand down in Lawrence County. Yeah, not as much green showing up here, so certainly still some red, and that's okay. That's going away from the radar, but the green looking a lot less pronounced right now. And there you go. National Weather Service canceling that tornado warning in Lawrence County. Great news there. You know, you can be careful. I want you to be very careful because these can fluctuate back up, but you can now carefully go about your way there in Lawrence County. But you know that if a new warning is issued there for Lawrence, we will be on top of it and let you know. So with careful caution, I would urge you to please get out and do whatever you got to do here as it's approaching school dismissal time. But if you carefully do so, the rotation not looking as pronounced there in Lawrence County. Great news there. All right, Rabun County crossing into Macon County, south of Franklin right here. We still got this signature here that's showing some interesting signs. Let's turn on just our wind shear product here if we can, and we'll just kind of look at where that rotation is. There's a little blip right there as we look at Clayton, and that rotation is kind of hard to see, but look at the terrain. This is the mountainous areas of Rabun County and very mountainous areas here of Macon County. So at the very least, you've got 30, 40 mile per hour winds that are pushing into these mountains, and these mountains have already had 5 to 10 plus inches of rain over the past 48 hours. So down trees could be compromised because of the wet grounds. Any kind of wind, what would normally take 60 miles per hour could be, 30, 35 miles per hour. And look at these bright pinks here. That's over 5 to 7 inches of rain in North Georgia here, stretching back toward Dunn's Creek, parts of Brevard, Rosman. Got a hot spot here across Caesar's Head. That's 10 inches of rain, folks, in the last 24 hours. So these are radar indicated, but these areas that are so socked in with rain, you combine some wind and the potential of a brief spin-up tornado, that could easily bring down trees, and then the ground could be compromised. Landslides, mudslides in these areas of Rabun County. and Macon counties just pushes up toward the north. Watching that fall apart here in Rabun County. So looking at that, watching it closely, National Weather Service debating whether or not to keep this warning as it moves into a very mountainous area. It looks like the mountains are kind of disrupting that rotation a little bit. But nonetheless, I want you to be very careful and exercise extra caution driving in these mountainous roads of Rabun and Macon County, because at the very least, you've got some strong winds whipping through these areas. With very saturated grounds, you do not want to be driving in these areas, because that's where we'll have the concern is that could give us some downed trees. And we've got multiple mudslides, downed trees in the road here across Brevard, stretching back through Rosman. And you go over here toward Cashers, points westbound through Franklin. That's where the concern lies, as this activity pushes from the south up toward the north here. And we've got very heavy rainfall stretching down toward the south as well. So let's give you kind of a big picture look at where we are with Fred. Fred, kind of the name of the game today, as the waves of rain continue to move through our area. We get one wave after another, and one of these cells can begin to rotate at any given time. And I want to let you know here, as we approach the 3 o'clock hour, any kind of rotating thunderstorms that we see flare back up, we're going to let you know. So if you're about to head out to pick up your kid at 3 o'clock here with dismissal, head back home. Keep the app on your phone right there. If you see a warning, it's a great tool to have. My family has it. It's really a very nice app that if there's a warning in your areas, if you're on the go right now, we're going to be where you are. Okay, we're not going to let you miss out when you're on the go either. So when there's a warning issued for your area, it'll pop up on your phone. So if you have a moment, download the WYFF4 mobile app from your app store on your phone, Droid or Apple, and that'll be a great thing to do. Hey, good news here. The National Weather Service canceling that warning here in Rabun and Macon County. We are now left with no tornado warnings, but several active flash flood warnings from Pickens to Oconee up through Transylvania County. Getting a new tornado warning now in Simpsonville. All right, folks, concerning area here just flared back up in Simpsonville. Let's turn on live Super Doppler 4HD and get you there. It looks like we've got some rotation setting up in Simpsonville. Hey, folks in Greenville County, please be careful right now. This is in Simpsonville. We're getting this rotation to flare up. A new tornado warning coming momentarily for Greenville County, and you can see it flaring up right here. We'll turn on our debris field right here to see if we're picking up on any debris just yet, and thankfully not seeing that right now, but certainly some heavy rainfall with the potential for a tornado here in Simpsonville. And I'm looking at that rotation right in here. That signature just does not look right now, and that's the concern, is anytime you get a part of a storm that will extend out or ramp up, and at a time that's not ideal, folks. 2:52 here, so an active tornado warning will be issued here momentarily for Greenville County near Simpsonville, and this will likely push up toward the north into areas of Greenville. There it is, active tornado warning here for Greenville County. This will go until 3:30. This includes Greenville County, at a very populated area of Greenville County at a very bad time of the day, folks. So please hunker down. Our newsroom actively communicating with the school district right now. We will let you know as soon as we know what's happening at the schools, but stay put. If you're listening right now in a car at a school, get into some safety, okay? You do not want to be sitting in a car router line right now. You do not want to be sitting in an area where you could be vulnerable to this rotation, okay? This over Simpsonville right here, heading toward the north. Over the next 30 minutes, it'll be in Malden. It'll be in downtown Greenville at 3:07. It'll be in Taylors at 3:16. It'll be in Milford at 3:24. So a possible tornado here in Greenville County near Simpsonville. This is heading toward the north, toward Greenville. Now, my wife is watching out for our kids right now. I know many of you are out getting your kids at school. You need to seek shelter. You need to get somewhere and fast, because this is happening across Greenville County right now near Simpsonville, pushing up toward the north, toward Greenville. Please get to safety right now. Do not be driving in this. Get to a sturdy structure inside somewhere away from some windows, and just know that the kiddos are going to be safe where they're at, okay? We're watching this closely here across Greenville County. So an active tornado warning for Simpsonville. This pushes up toward the north for Greenville, Greer, Travelers Rest, Tigerville. This includes Lake Robinson. An active tornado warning until 3:30. Here we are at 2:54. So looking at this rotation across Simpsonville, and right there is where it sits, as we got that little notch right in there. You can see the green. That indicates the rain or the wind going toward the radar. I'm closer to the National Weather Service radar, so I've got that one on, and then the red going away from it. So that rotation right here indicating that that possible tornado sits just west of downtown Simpsonville along the 385 corridor, and it's moving toward the northwest. So this would put it near Malden, near the hospital there at 3 o'clock, near Cherokee Forest, 316 at about Taylor. So you've got Malden High School, you've got Southside Christian, you've got Wade Hampton High School. You've got all these schools in the path of this right here. Hold tight, stay put. Taylor's Elementary. You need to be seeking shelter right now. Blue Ridge High School, all in the path of this here as it moves up toward the north in Greenville County. So hold tight right here. An active tornado warning sits across Simpsonville. Let's take a look at our debris. Let's see if we've got any debris being lofted up into the sky. Not seeing that right now, which is certainly some good news. Really watching this over Malden because we've got some pretty strong wind shear right now across Malden. Please seek shelter. This is possibly a tornado. The National Weather Service indicating Malden the most dangerous situation right now. And we're watching this activity across Greenville right now. As we look ahead toward parts of Greenville, let's zoom in a little bit here between Greenville and Simpsonville because it's possibly that we have a tornado right in here. Let's look at the wind shear across Malden because this is spinning up near Neely Ferry Road right there. So our product here from Live Super Doppler 4HD takes out all the rain and shows you exactly where the rotation is. So a possible tornado sits right here near Neely Ferry Road. And my phone's going off here as we're looking at this active situation in Greenville County. We're very close to this, which is why our phones are going off. So Neely Ferry Road in Greenville pushing just south of Malden. So Malden, you need to be seeking shelter right now. Do not be traveling in Malden. All right, this is possibly a tornado on the ground near
The National Weather Service in Greenville-Spartanburg has issued a tornado warning for northeastern Greenville County in upstate South Carolina until 3:30 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. At 2:52 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located 7 miles southeast of Greenville downtown, or near Malden, moving north at 30 miles per hour. Hazard, tornado. Source, radar indicated rotation. Impact, flying debris will be dangerous to those caught without shelter. Mobile homes will be damaged or destroyed. Damage to roofs, windows, and vehicles will occur. Tree damage is likely. This dangerous storm will be near Greenville downtown, Greenville East Side, GSP Airport, Cherryvale Point, and West Greenville around 3:10 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Taylor's, Greer, Paris Mountain State Park, and Travelers Rest around 3:20 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Lake Robinson and Tigerville around 3:30 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Take cover now. Move to a basement or an interior room on the lowest floor of a sturdy building. Avoid windows. If you are outdoors, in a mobile home, or in a vehicle, move to the closest substantial shelter and protect yourself from flying debris. Heavy rainfall may hide this tornado. Do not wait to see or hear the tornado. Take cover now. Please report damaging winds, hail, or flooding to the National Weather Service by calling toll-free 1-800-267-8101 or by posting on our Facebook page or tweet it using hashtag NWSGSP. Your message should describe the event and the specific location where it occurred. Repeating, a tornado
now and give them a call. Tell them just to hold tight. Get to a sturdy structure. The kids are going to be in the schools. They're going to be holding tight where they're at. And the rotation's pushing up toward the north right now and even increasing. Yeah, that dark blue, that bright blue, I should say, indicating to me, again, our tools that we have here are telling me we possibly have a tornado on the ground right here near Highway 276 near Murray Drive, Sunset Drive. This rotation, as strong as we have seen throughout the day today, over Malden, and it's pushing north on 276. So let's pull out a little bit, give you some perspective in Greenville County as to where we're seeing this rotation at. So there's 385, there's Paramount Park, there's Conisty Park, just east of Conisty, okay? Popular area on a time of day like this. There's Lawrence Road. You get up toward Woodruff Road, Roper Mountain Road, all in the path of this. I want you to be seeking shelter right now at all these locations. Do not be traveling in this. A very dangerous situation at a time where schools are starting to let out or would normally let out. So let's go back to live Super Doppler 4 HD and show you where we're talking about. We'll pull out and give you some perspective across the area. Again, we're watching these spin ups that happen. This one here across parts of Greenville County really spun up quickly. Emergency management in Greenville County watching this with a watchful eye, making sure if they see any damage, they're going to report it right to us. There's downtown Greenville. There's Malden. This dangerous situation just east of downtown Greenville. Let's look specifically at our rotation right now, and we can show you where we're seeing that across Malden, pushing up toward the north. The green indicates winds going toward the radar and the red going away. So we're seeing that rotation right here across Malden, and it's moving up toward the north. Let's check out our debris, see if we're seeing debris or damage from this. And again, it's not real clear that we're seeing it. It's possible right in here just north of Malden, but not seeing a clear signature of damage, which is good news. But all of our indications from our rotating parts of our radar are showing that this is very possibly a tornado that's either touching down, lifting back up, touching down, or one that could be on the ground near Malden, pushing up toward the north. There's Wade Hampton Boulevard, and you go up toward parts of Greer and Taylor's. We've got this active situation that's moving through St. Francis at about 305, Lake Forest at 307, Cherokee Forest at 311, and then Wade Hampton at 312. All right, folks, dangerous situation here across Greenville County. I want you to take this very serious. This is fluctuating up and a big time. The rotation is about as strong as we've seen throughout the day, and in a very populated area across Malden, parts of Greenville up through Taylor's. There's I-85, there's Wade Hampton Boulevard. Watching this closely for you folks I know that are watching at schools right now. We're going to walk you through this. As soon as the threat is over, we'll let you know so you can get to and from where you need to go. Still a dangerous situation, still seeing the potential on our radar that a tornado could be on the ground, and that is continuing this warning right now across our area. And we're watching that. Your phones are going off right now. Possible tornado here across Greenville County. You need to seek shelter across Greenville. Many schools in here. I mentioned a few here. And looking at it as we're looking at parts of Malden, Malden High, up through parts of Greenville. You've got parts of, Wade Hampton Boulevard, which would include, you go up toward Greer High, Blue Ridge High, South Side here. You got Wade Hampton High School right here, all very close to this rotation as it pushes up toward the north right here. And looking specifically at our rotation product, our wind shear product, as Sydney pulls this up right here, right there's where that potential tornado could be. Along 276, right over Malden right now, pushing toward the north on I-85 very shortly. So here's I-85, then you go up toward the north here, you got Woodruff Road, Roper Mountain Road, Haywood Mall. All areas that are very close to this activity right now as it pushes up toward the north at about 30 miles per hour. So let's give a fresh storm track on this across Malden, as we know that it's moving northwest at about 30 miles per hour. This pushing up toward the north, it'll be at Grace Covenant Presbyterian Church at 302, near the hospital at 303, the Carroll Campbell Graduate Engineering Center, and then Legacy Park at 307. So try to figure out where you're at in relation to these areas, and know that any minute now this is moving towards you. So we'll pull out a little bit, give you kind of a broader look at this activity, and put a storm track on it across Greenville County to give you areas across Malden right now, and then pushing up toward Taylor's and Greer, around I-85, 385 corridor. This is somewhere that we need to watch very closely in these areas as it pushes up toward the north here in the next few minutes. So next 10-15 minutes here, we'll watch it closely here for you as it rolls on through. I'll step out of the screen here as we look at it here across downtown Greenville as it's rolling on through these areas. Watching that very closely here. And again, near the hospital, near downtown Greenville, Wade Hampton High School. And again, I've mentioned it several times, Taylor's Elementary need to be in the safe place right now and not traveling. So there's Malden. As this continues to move up toward the north near Knollwood Drive, there's Lawrence Road. There's I-85, needing to watch this closely here across St. Joseph's Drive. And again, there's Woodruff Road, and anywhere in the path of this would be Woodruff Road, the Haywood Mall. You've got Southside Christian in here. You've got Malden High School in here. You've got Taylor's Elementary in here. This is a dangerous situation in these areas as we roll on through here. This is where the strongest rotation lies across Greenville County, and that's where we're seeing that signature here. So an active tornado warning for Greenville County, for Lawrence Road, and your phones are probably going off here. We're hearing it here in our studios with the active tornado warning across the area here. Getting word here from Greenville County Schools. All students and all employees are sheltering in place right now. Students who have not left schools will be kept at school until the danger has passed. Buses are now going to the nearest school or another safe location for shelter. That could be a fire station, that could be a high school if you're on an elementary school, whatever sturdy structure they can find nearest to them. We've seen this before earlier this year when we've had tornadic activity in the spring. We're getting a tornadic signature here across Simpsonville and Malden that really is concerning here across I-85, right across the I-85 corridor. That rotation now sits right on I-85, pushing toward the north now at 20 miles per hour. So the Greenville County School District indicating to us that all students and employees are sheltering in place at school. You need to kind of hold tight right now. Don't go pick them up. They're not dismissing right now. Students that have not left school will be kept at the school until this danger has passed, and this warning goes until 3:30. So this is going to get very near to downtown Greenville at 309, Cherokee Forest, Wade Hampton Boulevard at 316, and then Paris Elementary School, another area right here in Greenville that needs to watch out for this. The east side of Paris Mountain, you've got Taylor's Elementary, you got
The National Weather Service in Greenville-Spartanburg has issued a tornado warning for northeastern Greenville County in upstate South Carolina until 3:45 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. At 3 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, a tornado-producing storm was located 4 miles southeast of Greenville downtown, or near Greenville East Side, moving north at 25 miles per hour. Hazard: damaging tornado. Source: radar-confirmed tornado. Impact: flying debris will be dangerous to those caught without shelter. Mobile homes will be damaged or destroyed. Damage to roofs, windows, and vehicles will occur. Tree damage is likely. This dangerous storm will be near Cherryvale Point around 3:10 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Taylor's, Paris Mountain State Park and Greer around 3:20 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Lake Robinson and Travelers Rest around 3:30 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Tigerville around 3:40 p.m. Eastern. Not wait to see or hear the tornado. Take cover now. Please report damaging winds, hail, or flooding to the National Weather Service by calling toll-free 1-800-267-8101 or by posting on our Facebook page or tweet it using hashtag NWSGSP. Your message should describe the event and the specific location where it occurred. Repeating.
Could be a middle school, could be a high school, could be the nearest sturdy structure right there. But the rotation right there, I'm also seeing new rotation in Fountain Inn and a little blip there in Simpsonville. So there are basically 3 areas in Greenville County that bear watching. As we turn on Live Super Doc before each day, I'll be able to show you where these are, because there's the one in Malden that's shown signs of rotation. Here's one in Simpsonville, a separate cell, not the same one. So if we get a new warning out of this, I want you to be aware that that's a separate threat, a new threat that could go very near some of those same areas. And in Simpsonville down toward Fountain Inn, we've got some rotation. Let's turn on our rotation, our wind speeds across the area. We'll look at GSP's radars here, and we'll look at ours as well, be able to kind of give a good surveillance of this area across 385, pushing into Simpsonville and Malden, as this area is under a tornado warning, which means an active threat is presenting itself across Greenville downtown, points eastbound through Malden. Good news in Malden is that rotation looks like it has slacked up just a bit. just a bit there. I don't want you to let your guard down yet, because we've seen time and time again that fluctuation where the sales go up and then they go back down. From Malden to Fountain Inn, these areas, watching it very, very closely across the 385 corridor. Let's pull out a little bit to just the upstate here. We'll show you kind of what's happening to our south, because watching these areas as well, so far these look tame back toward the west, but this line right here will need to be watched as you've had a couple of hours of some sunshine in Pickens to Anderson, and then you got this line back here through Lawrence and Greenville. This is whipping up toward the north right here and has prompted a dangerous situation across Greenville County, where we had some significant rotation spin up across Simpsonville and Malden. If you have seen damage in your area, please let our newsroom know by our Facebook page, by calling us, by emailing us. Let us know what you have seen in Malden and in Simpsonville. That helps us get that information out to you. If you can safely do so. Don't go out and just check things out right now, because the danger is still over us here across Greenville County. We're under a tornado warning in Greenville County until 3:30. So what that means to you is you need to hold tight, stay put, hang out in your safe place until this storm passes. This warning now goes until 3:45, and it's a continuance of this activity toward the south. It looks like the rotating part of this in Malden has kind of fluctuated and tamed down just a bit, but I'm watching this activity in Simpsonville and then down toward Fountain Inn. You bet, right there we've got a couple areas to watch that are showing some early signs of rotation. This is a cool product that we have here on Live Super Doppler 4 HD that basically just shows rotation and nothing else. That's the important part to look out for in this type situation, right? So this shows us we got rotation up towards Caesar's Head. We've got that rotation across East Greenville. In fact, let's zoom in right now and show you where that is, because it does appear that that's trying to fluctuate back up now over East Greenville. As we zoom in, there's downtown Greenville. You go toward Woodruff Road. It looks like over Woodruff Road, where Highway 14 meets, there's that rotation that was down toward the south. So right over Woodruff Road and Highway 14, this is going to push into Taylor's, into Piedmont Park near Otter Creek Water Park. This is going to go up toward Lake Robinson. So as we pull out just a bit, we'll give you a fresh storm track on this active rotation. So in the immediate time frame, we've got the Academy of Hair Technology, Lake Forest, Cherokee Forest, and then Wade Hampton Boulevard there at about 3:16. So within the next 5 minutes, this rotation is going to travel up Woodruff Road and then go up Highway 14 where it meets Wade Hampton Boulevard. So a very busy area of Greer and Taylor's. There's downtown Taylor's, the mill, back toward Taylor's First Baptist, and then you go back toward the Wade Hampton corridor right here. There's a Walmart right there. The Taylor's Library sits right there, all in the path of this, and it goes right up where Woodruff Road meets Highway 14. It's right where that rotation sits right now, and a very dangerous spot on Live Super Doppler 4 HD as we've got that rotation. We've also got some rotation to our south that we're monitoring in Simpsonville and Fountain Inn. This is a little bit different than this area that's down toward the north, up toward the north. So there's Simpsonville over toward Gaylord's Crossroads, and then toward Fountain Inn we've got some early signs of rotation out of this as well. This different than the rotation that we saw in Malden that's now pushing into Greenville City. So watching this very closely as we pull out just a little bit here, as we're looking at the rotation that was up towards Caesar's Head a little bit too, getting some indication this is now pushing up toward the north a little bit there, and rotation there across the I-85 corridor. So as we turn on Live Super Doppler 4 HD, watching this activity across Greenville County, that's the immediate concern for these areas here across Greenville. There's Simpsonville as this pushes into Greenville right here. We're watching the radar scan and surveil this area, and Travelers Rest up toward the north as well. So we're watching this activity. The tornado watch for our area continues until about 7 o'clock, and we're watching this activity that's pushing on through the area. I'm going to turn on a different look here for us as we're looking at this activity push on through, and a new tornado warning has just been issued here for Greenville. This would be for downtown Greenville for that separate cell near Taylor's, okay? So we've got this active warning. It looks like that active rotation sits right over Greenville and is pushing toward the north right here. This would be a view from Live Super Doppler 4 HD. This is over Piedmont Park. There's downtown Greenville. This goes up toward Otter Creek Water Park. There's 253 where it meets Darby Road. This is some rotation that we're watching here across Taylor's, and this cell is moving up toward the north. So you've got some active rotation, a brand new tornado warning right here. This one for a cell that is moving north at about 25 miles per hour. This new warning goes until 3:45. The possible tornado is located near downtown Greenville and Taylor's. So there's downtown Greenville, there's Taylor's. Right there would be where I'd place the active rotation as it moves toward the north. There's Wade Hampton Boulevard. Here's Piedmont Park, where Darby Road, State Park Road, and those areas heading into Travelers Rest meet. So a dangerous situation here across Greenville. You've got Pebble Creek right in here, and there's where that possible rotation sits near Delwood. Wade Hampton Boulevard pushing up toward the north. I need you to get to your safe place right now. Very busy time of the day. If you have family that you know is out traveling around right now, please get on the phone right now and give them a call. Let them know that there's a possible tornado here across Delwood, Piedmont Park. Strong rotation is indicated by live Super Doppler 4 HD. It prompted the National Weather Service via their radar to reissue the tornado warning for a new area based on the new rotation that sits across Piedmont Park and Highway 253 right here. We saw the very strong rotation from Simpsonville to Malden. This area really being rocked with some heavy rain right now, and that is pushing up toward the north. That rotation still sits over these areas, and watching it very closely here. And really, the strongest rotation sits across Morningside, Lake Forest, up toward Wade Hampton. There's Enterprise Boulevard, there's Villa Road, 385, watching that closely here. And this is where the most concerning area is across Greenville County, and 385 right here. There's Botany Road. And again, as we talked to you folks earlier this afternoon in Simpsonville, Botany Road, this area rocked by the EF2 last year. It started in Greenville near Pleasantburg and then moved across the Home Depot there, across Rutherford Road, and crossed toward Botany Forest. And that's where you've got some very strong rotation. I need you to be back into your safe place right now across Taylors and Greenville, because that's where we're seeing the strongest rotation right now. Watching this closely as we're moving on through. So really the most dangerous part of this storm sits over Greenville and points toward Taylors. So there's Delwood, there's Wade Hampton, Piedmont Park, and Taylors. Right there's where that rotation sits. Let's pull out just a little bit and we'll give you a couple of storm tracks. First, we'll give you a wide storm track going up toward the north, because you folks on Lake Robinson need to watch this. Taylors, Greer up Highway 101, even Travelers Rest points eastbound. So where that rotation sits just east of downtown Greenville near Barge Memorial Hospital, Delwood, Wade Hampton Boulevard, heading towards Sandy Flat. This would be near Sandy Flat and parts of Otter Creek Water Park there at about 335. So that's a concerning area, as we really need to watch that closely here. Let's take a look at our P-Center Skycam over Greenville, as we've been monitoring the skies across Greenville County today, and this activity that's moving on through the area in downtown Greenville, watching that activity as well. We're watching that in parts of Taylors and Greer, pushing up toward the north and east. There's downtown Taylors. There's Wade Hampton Boulevard going up toward the north and east right there. So the rotation sits just east of downtown Greenville right there, and it's moving along Wade Hampton Boulevard, inching its way up Highway 101 and Highway 14, pushing off toward the north. We saw it move through Woodruff Road. We saw it move through Roper Mountain Road, and that rotation can at times be in the middle layers of the atmosphere and kind of just be sitting there. But our live Super Doppler 4 HD indicated that very strong rotation between Simpsonville and Malden, and it's pushing up toward the north right there. So again, something to watch very, very closely here. And again, we've seen tornado warning after tornado warning across the area today. Big picture here, this warning goes until 3:45 for Greenville. If you're watching us in other areas of the upstate right now, we're monitoring your situation as well. It's just that Greenville has the most dire situation. Not seeing any tornadic activity around you folks in Spartanburg. We are watching back toward the west here in parts of Greenville or western Anderson County, because this line back toward Clemson and Pickens is moving back through, and those areas have seen some rain earlier. We've got this active tornado warning along the I-40 corridor. Another hot spot today has been the I-40 corridor from Burke and McDowell over toward Catawba and Iredell County. Those areas have had a couple of tornado threats throughout the day as well. Here at home, the tornado threat sits across Greenville County. This active warning in place until 3:45 for this cell that's over Taylors. It's pushing toward the north here. Watching that closely, as these areas are in a dangerous spot across Greenville County. Tigerville, watching that very closely. I'm not seeing as much rotation across Greenville. Let's get in and show you that rotation only. We'll kind of isolate just the rotation in Greenville. Not seeing as much right there. Monitoring a little bit down toward Fountain Inn and Simpsonville. East side of Greenville, watching that closely as well, and parts of downtown Greenville pushing toward Taylor. So let's take a look at the wind speeds in this storm as we're watching that closely as well. Watching that up toward the north right here. This area right in here has seen the rotation. It seems to be dying down just a bit. And watching that closely here as Greenville County does appear to be in a better situation than you were just about 10 minutes ago. This warning goes until 3:45, but I would not be surprised if it gets dropped shortly because of the rotation fluctuating down. And it looks like they did just cancel that warning right there for Greenville County, the one toward the south. Let's see if this one will be canceled as well. Still some signs of rotation here across Greenville, Wade Hampton Boulevard, pushing up toward the north here in Greenville County, northern Greenville right there. So really watching that as we get a new scan here. I've got both our radars on, the National Weather Service radar and ours, giving us a fresh scan right in here, not seeing as much. And just like that, the National Weather Service cancels the tornado warning for Greenville County. So right now, there are no active tornado warnings in Greenville County. So the good news there, you can carefully go about your activities here at 3:20. Man, what timing, right? I mean, started at 2:50, ramped up all the way through that hour as we saw signs of some serious rotation in Simpsonville and Malden, and we're watching this activity rolling on through the area. Let's turn on our network of radars as we look at Fred basically back toward the west and what's caused all this as we're looking at this activity that rolls on through the area here. And this is really kind of flaring up some of this activity back toward the west and will continue to give us that activity as we move on through the area there. There's that rotation around Atlanta. That's actually the core of Fred. So notice how progressively, as you get closer to some of these areas, the rain bands that come in are a little bit less potent. They're not packing as much of a punch here, and that is certainly some good news because these areas are being worked over. You've seen some rain, you've seen some storms. It's hard to get them back to back to back to back, but it certainly can happen. But there's the rain, there's the heavy rainfall in some of this band that has given us tornadic activity across Greenville, Lawrence, Greenwood County, and then stretching back through Anderson County. It's been a long afternoon with many tornado warnings. I know the kids have had a stressful day. This is going to be one back-to-school day they'll never forget, and teachers, I'm sure, are the same for you. What you can count on from us, if there are any more threats throughout the afternoon or evening, we are going to keep you posted here. But for now, I can tell you, thankfully, there are no active tornado threats across the area. We're going to send you back to regular scheduled programming in the second we see something dangerous, we'll cut back into programming on air and on your phones.
We now join our regularly scheduled program already in progress.